Hello guys, in this video we'll be developing another strategy by trade and get paid. I mean this guy. So he said this is the strategy that gave him his first $50,000 on Forex trading, right? So we are going to code this strategy, then we backtest, then we possibly optimize if there is something to optimize for, right? So you can go ahead and search for this title on YouTube and you will get this result. I'm very sure this will be the first result because that's what I got. Then go through the video, or if you think 28 minutes is just too long, I'll clearly explain what he explained in a very short period of time so that you can just follow along with the code, right? So let's quickly get into it. He mentioned that we need two things, right? So first thing we need is the Bollinger Band. So to get your Bollinger Band, you can go for a trend, right? Then on that trend, you can get Bollinger Band. On that Bollinger Band, he used 20 period and he used 2 for the deviation, right? So I think he used close and you know what, let's use this default. Then we can just click on OK. So after that, he used another moving average, right? So let's get moving average of 9 period, right? Then the moving average method was simple moving average, and let's leave this on red. He said we should look out for the Bollinger Band separating. For example, you can see this Bollinger Band is dipping down on the lower part and going up on the higher part. So that means the lower Bollinger Band value here is lower than this, and Bollinger Band value here is higher than this, right? And this is higher than this. So that means the upper Bollinger Band is trying to go up while the lower Bollinger Band is trying to go down. So automatically we are not in a skews. We are not in a range, right? So that's a clue. So that's one thing we should look out for. Then he said the 9 period moving average should be above the middle line, right? Then we should wait for a candle that closes above the upper band. Then the next candle closes below the upper band. Then we trigger a sell case. Now, he didn't really specify where you should put our stop loss, but maybe we put in our stop loss within the highest point within the last 2 candles. For example, in this case, we'll be putting our stop loss here. So this is approximately 30 pips. So now he said we should have 3 take profits. The first take profit will be when the market touches the 9 period moving average, and the second take profit will be when the market touches the middle band, and the third one will be when the market touches the lower band, right? So automatically we're taking our first profit here, then the second profit here, and the third one here, right? So he also said that we should trail our position, right? So let's assume we have, so in our case, let's assume we have this, which is approximately 30 pips. So on the first 30 pips, we are going to trail, right? And on the next 30 pips, which is 60 pips, total of 60 pips, you are going to trail. Then another 90 pips, another 120 pips until the take profit is it, or the take profit is it, right? So that is what we are going to do. So the inverse for the sell case, right? So we wait for a candle close. This is a good signal. Let's assume, right? So we have a candle closing below this lower band. Then this candle now closes above. Then this candle now closes inside the lower band. We are going to enter a position, right? So our stop loss will be somewhere here, right? The stop loss will be here, right? Now, which is, let's see the gap. This is the gap, which is approximately 25 pips. So now, the first take profit will be here, which is the 9 period moving average, when the market is touching the 9 period moving average or above the 9 period moving average for the buy case, right? Then the next take profit will be when the market is touching the middle line. Then the third take profit will be when the market comes back to this upper band. And in the case where the market doesn't get to this upper band, we will have been trading. So you remember that this is about 25 pips. So we will have been trading, we will have done the first 25 pips, and by this time, at this point, the stop loss for all the position, approximately all the last position will be left, because at this point you will notice that the first take profit has been taken, the second take profit has been taken, and the trailing is now securing the third position, waiting for the markets to hit the upper band, right? So now that is what he explained in the video. Let's quickly get into it. So first thing first, I'll create my file. So I'll call this first 50k, okay, strategy, okay. So I'll clean this up. Now the question is, what are the things we need from the user? First thing, we need the magic number, right? So we can say magic, right? So you can give this by default, right? Then the next thing we need is we need lot size. So what lot size should be used for each position, right? Then what else do we need? You know what? Let's expect comments from the user. So I can say my first 50k EA. So I can call this trade comments. Then you know what? I'll give this like this. So I'll say group. I'll call this general settings, right? Then now I want the user to be able to change the setting for the Bollinger Band. So I'll give this a room. So I'll say Bollinger Band settings. Then this will be the period, DB period, which is 20, right? So DB period. Okay, we can just say Bollinger Band period. Then for this, the deviation, DB deviation, which is 2 by default. So you can say Bollinger and period. We can hard code the price type, maybe price close, whatever. So now we want to give room to edit the moving average values as well. Let me settings. So I can say MA period, which is 9. MA period. Then what kind of MA are you interested in? MA method. Then you can say mode simple MA method. So now, before we go ahead, let's quickly get our include files for the trade features. For the trade class, so you can say trade NQH from C trade. Then for this, include from trade position info NQH. Then for position info, T info. So here you can see for the BB and here for the MA. Then you want to specify that whenever we have a position or order from this EA, this magic number should be assigned to each of them, right? Then you want to say undo BB. Now bands for this chart symbol. Then what time frame? I think we should make sure that we can optimize for all time frame or whatever time frame we want. So we can simply say, let's specify time frame here. Time frame. So yeah, you know what, the default will be current. So we can say time frame so that we know the best time frame to use the EA. But I think you use the EA so that we know the best time frame to use the EA. I think you use the strategy on 30-minute time frame, right? But we would like to get the one with the US drawdown and relatively high profit. So there you go. So this is the DB. So you can say 0 DB deviation. Then you can code this to close. You can say undo MA. You can say MA this MA period, this MA method, and price close. Okay, you can code this as well. I love having my strategy in a function. So I can say first 50k, 50k. So I can do this here. First thing, I want to start for trading opportunity if there is no open position. So I can say trade index, so which is the last trade index, right? So last position index, right? Oops. So I can simply say what this will be doing is it's going to try to look through all the position open, and if it is able to select each position, right, and the position selected symbol is of the same with the chart symbol, then the magic number of the position selected is the same with the one specified by the user. Please return the index of that position, right? And in case where you can't find any, just return -1. So that is what I'm trying to do. Now, if trade index, which is the result gotten by this function, right? This function, so is equal to -1, right? That means there is no position. Please look for position. And in the case where there is a position, please manage my position. So here we're managing position, right? So let's quickly insert the features to look for position. So first thing is we want the values for our upper band and lower band and middle band, right? So we can say double upper band, right? So we can do this. So we can say lower band, then we can say middle band, So okay, I should put this like this. So that is that. You can simply say copy buffer, this BB, then you can say what buffer. So basically for the upper band, the buffer is 1, and we start with this. Then for the count, we just want 5 of it. Then where should we put our values? So we want it into this, which is upper band, and for the lower band, the handle, we use this, right? Now what should be the buffer? The buffer is 2. So what is the buffer? So the buffer is 2, and then where should we start getting the value from? 0. Then how many do we want? Just 5. Then we can store it here, lower band, and for the middle band, which is index 0, buffer 0. So I can say handle here, buffer 0, 5 mid band, right? So that's that. So I can say this. So I will set them as series 2. This lower band 2, and this middle band, this also to 2. So that is that. Then the first thing we want to check is we want to make sure that the move of the Bollinger Band is scattered. The upper band is facing up and the lower band is facing down. That means there is a trend. We can say if the previous upper band, the recent one, the one that just closed, right, is above, is looking up, is higher than the one before it, which is this. Meanwhile, the most recently closed lower band, right, is lower. That means it's lower than the one before it. So that is the first condition we want to check, right? Before we even consider any other position, we want to make sure that we are not in a skews or we are not in a ranging, market. So that is what is specified, is stated in the video. He also said that then we should go ahead to pick up our moving average. So you can see MA, right? So you can copy buffer from this moving average. Then this buffer is 0 and start with 0. Then we just want 5, even if it's just one we need, right? So we just, I love having extra. So we can just go for MA. Then array set index here, true. So the question, so now for the buy condition, we can see if the MA period, if the MA, right, is lower than the middle band, right? Meanwhile, meanwhile, a particular candle close, which is candle close 2, let's just have that first. So you can see candle close 2, right? This for this time frame, and you can say 2. So let's have another one, which is candle close 1. So you can say candle close 1, which is the previously closed candle, right? So you can have it like this. So now, we want to make sure that this candle close 2 closed lower than the lower band before, right? But now there is a recent candle that closed above the lower band. So in that case, we are going to buy, right? Then what should be our stop loss? So our stop loss is the lowest point between the last 2 candles, right? So we can simply say high low, this for this time frame. Now, what index? We don't know the index, so we want to get the lowest between the candle before, that means of index 1 and index 2, between the candle of index 1 and index 2. So please get me the lowest. So this we can use to get the lowest. So we can say lowest, we can call this function. So specify the chart symbol, then the time frame, then we are telling me that we are interested in the low, right? Now, how many? Just count 2 and start looking for the lowest between index 1, then just 2 step back. After starting from index 1, just go 1 more step to make it 2. Get me the one that have the lowest low, right? And return the index. So automatically I'm using the index here to get the low and figure out what my stop loss should be. Right now, we need to know the gap between the stop loss and the entry price, which is XL. Then we can say X minus XL. Stop. Now let's quickly fix our X. So we can say X, this, and this. So we are going to be needing the bid as well. So let's just make it prepared. So we can say this. So we can simply say trade buy, right? Using the lot volume. Then for this chart symbol, at what price? At the ask price. Then what should be the stop loss? This should be the stop loss. And what should be the take profit? We can leave the take profit to 0, right? Then what should be the comment? We can say this. But so there should be a way to identify which position should be closed at which take profit, right? So we can simply say, okay, instead of just saying this, so we can say TP1 this, and that will be fine. Then we can copy this for the second one, which is TP2, and another one for the TP3. So we can say TP2, TP3, right? So this is just one way of doing it. You can do it in another manner. So, and for the sell case, so we can simply say, in fact, we can also check if this is successful. Only go ahead with creation of this if this is successful. And once you are able to check this and it's successful, go ahead with the creation of this. And after this is successful, trade this. After this is successful, trade this. Instead of just stacking them up. So that's what I should have done. You know what? Let me just quickly do it. So I will just say this. Then I will say if res, that means if it returns true, if it is successful. So I also want to do this, right? If this is successful, please do this. Then if this is also successful, please do this. So that is what I'm trying to do, right? So for the sell case, as I was going, so I can simply say, make sure that the HEMI is above the middle band, right? Then there was a close above the upper band, but now there is a close below the upper band, right? Oops, the upper band. So now, in that case, please sell. And what should be my stop loss? My stop loss should be the highest point within the last 2 candles, just like we did for the sell. Highest. This this mode I, this one, right? So now you can see Excel equals the stop loss minus the bid, right? Then you can see just like this. You know what? Let me just copy this and change this to sell. Change this to bid. Also this to sell and this to bid. This will also change to sell and this will change to bid, right? Oops, we did not change this. Should 3. So this is the first take profit, second take profit, and the third take profit, which we are going to close using the EA, right? Now that we've established our buy case and our sell case, the next thing is we need to manage our position either through trading or the closure of the take profits, right? So now, how do we do that? We need to look through the positions, then get the position that belongs to this chart symbol and this magic number, since we do not just have one, right? So how do we do that? We can simply say for each position, right? For this, now let's please select each position. This what we need to do is now first thing first, let's try to close the positions. First thing, we need to get the comment of each position, right? Because it is through the comment that we know which one is which. Then you can simply say com. Okay, let's just call this com. So which is this, right? If we are dealing with a buy case, okay, let's have the entry price also outside. So we can simply say along position type. So we can call this post type, which is key info position type, right? So now, in the case where post type is buy, right? Position type buy, right? So now, first thing, we want to check if string find, if you are able to find from the comments, if you are able to find CP1, right? So if you are able to find it, that means the result of this is not equal to -1, right? So in that case, and the bid price is higher than the moving average, right? So now we can simply have this outside, since we also have it. We can have this outside, so that we'll be able to access it almost anywhere. Also, we can also have this outside as well, so that we can have it anywhere. So I would say this. So now, if the bid price is above or equal to the moving average, we want to close this. So you know what? Just say trade position close using the ticket, right? And if the string find is able to find something of TP2, and is not equal to -1, and the bid price is above or equal to the middle band, so automatically we are going to close the second position, as that means take profit 2 has been reached, right? And for the last case, if you know what, let me just copy this, and this will be for the upper band, upper band. The reason why I'm using the bid price for the buy position is because buy position are usually closed using the bid price, and the sell position are usually closed using the ask price, right? So I can simply copy this for the sell case. So we need to close the sell case. So I'll just edit this to this cell. And in the case where you're able to find the one a position that have comment of TP1, what I want to do is I want to say make sure the ask price, the ask price is below or above, is below or equal to the moving average, then close it. And for this, make sure the ask price is below or equal to the moving band. And for this, ask price is the lower band. The lower band, right? So that is that for the closure. So we can say take profit, 1, 2, and 3, right? So now what we want to do is we want to trail, right? So now let's quickly trail. Most of our video we do use trailing features, so we already know how to do trailing. So I can easily copy and paste the trailing features. And if you are new here, be sure to subscribe so that you also get used to these styles, right? So now we can simply say if position type is of position buy, right? And the current price, so we are going to get the current price now. So let's set that up. So you can see the current price, which is the potential price that we can possibly close a position if we decide to close it now. For a buy case, we use the bid price, and for the sell case, we use the ask price. So like I said, we already discussed such thing in this tutorial, so be sure to subscribe so that you get familiar with this, and things like this won't be new to you, right? So to get the current, we can say price current, right? Then we can say, let's get the stop loss as well. So we want to know the stop loss, right? So you can simply say if the difference between, we want to know the entry price as well. So let's get the entry price. So let's say entry price open. So now, if the difference between the current price and the entry price is above or equal to XL, you know what? This XL, so let's have it as a global variable, right? So you can just remove this declaration, right? So you can declare it here outside so that it will be accessible everywhere. So that it won't have to change at every tick unless there is no more open position, right? Okay, you know what we can do instead of going this route, what we can do is we can simply say, what if we measure the gap between the current price and the old stop loss? The moment the current price and the old stop loss is times 2 of the XL, the stop loss gap, and the entry price, that means we should consider trading. So what I mean is, once the current price and the old stop loss have a gap that is 2 times of this, right? So that means we should trade. So we can simply say trade. Okay, you know what? We want to make sure that we specify the new entry. Let's say new entry. So the new entry will be the current price minus the XL, right? So we can say trade position modify using the ticket. Then this is the new XL, and use the previous take profit, which is of course 0. And for the sell case, so make sure that the position is a sell case. Then we want to make sure that the gap between the old stop loss, then we make sure that the old stop loss minus the current price is above or equal to 2 times the XL, right? So that is that. So we can simply say, what should be the new XL? So the new XL is the current price plus XL, right? So we can say trade. You know what? Let me just copy this instead of typing all of this. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here. And that is all. We've handled the case of trading, we've handled the case of take profit. Then let's quickly back test. Okay, you know what? Let's save and compile. Okay, we have some errors, and where is the error? So 69. We mistakenly added this. Sorry about that. This is not an array. Sorry about that. I think there is some mistake here. Yes. I'm sorry, I treated it as an array. So let me just save and compile again. Okay, we just have 6 more errors. So 72, which is this. Oh, very sorry. I was typing, I was talking. Should have been plus. So sorry about this. I think after this we should be good. So let me just save this and compile. Alright, so that is all.
Alright guys, so before we go ahead to backtest, so what we should take note is that we probably will have multiple trades on just one candle when our stop loss is hit, either for the first time or after trading for the first time. So what we can do is that we can prevent trading more than once on each bar, right? So we can simply do that by having another variable somewhere outside, a global variable. So you can say this should be last entry. So this will record the last entry bar, right? So that we can use it in preventing further entry on every time. So you can see, instead of just doing this, so you can also represent it here, then yeah. So we can also check if this returns true. If it returns true, then we want to register this. So we want to say assign that the last entry was done on this current candle, which is this. I mean this, and we can do the same for the sell case. So here you go. Then we can make sure that at the beginning we can always check if we are not on the same bar that we've had a trade, right? So for example, make sure that the last entry is not equal to, so the moment the last entry is equal to the current bar, please return the function. The function should return. So we should have returned something, maybe -1, but remember that this function is a void function, so this is the perfect thing to use. So the moment the last entry was done on this same bar, so please let's assume we have a position because of maybe a buy position or a sell position which was registered either here or here, right? Let's say the positions were closed by stop loss, and instead of opening, because the condition will still be true for the position, so instead of opening a new position immediately and maybe we still get stopped at the stop loss, instead of doing that, what it will do is it is going to prevent looking for the entry condition even at this point. So it is going to say, oh, the last entry is equals to the this current bar, so it is going to return this. So that is how to prevent it from trading more than once per bar. So I'll just save and compile. So now we can now go ahead to backtest. Yeah, I should have come around to backtest directly, but currently I'm trying to optimize our last project. So you can see it's still running, and it's yet to finish, and it has been running for days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the EA, then I'm going to put it on another terminal, right? So that is what I'll be doing. So let's quickly do that so that I won't have to wait for more days before this one gets completed, before I can backtest and optimize for the next project. So here you go. This is another terminal. Yes, I've installed my EA. So this is it, the first 50k strategy. So let me just pop out my strategy tester. So I'll go for view strategy tester. So I'll make this collapse. I'm not interested in it. So now I have to select my EA. So this is it. Then my symbol, I'll say let's go for gold. So here you go. So we can, I think, let's just switch to 30 minutes. Oops, let's go for 30 minutes. So for the dates, we will just backtest for maybe a few months, maybe beginning of the year. Let's say costume period. So you can say 2026 January 1st to maybe March 20 March 15. So we can use the deposit of 500. Let's leave the leverage And for the optimization, we just say disable, right? So let me go for input. You can see we have the magic number, this. Okay, the current the time frame is on 30 minutes. So even without setting this, we can just set the time frame since we have it ready for optimization. So we can leave this, we can leave this. Okay, let me start the back test. Okay, the back test have started. Okay, let's see. I think we should be expecting a sell position. Okay, we could not get a sell position, but let's see. Okay, that one is going. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's closing in outside. Okay, let's anticipate a buy position then. Okay. 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 So we have this Bollinger Band spreading out, right? So that is the first condition. Then we have this 9 period moving average below the midline, right? So then we have this candle closing outside the lower band. Then we have this candle closing inside the lower band. So that's why we have this buy position. Our stop loss was set at the lowest point between the last two candles, right? So and remember we have three take profits. So that's why we have three positions, which is you can see the comment TP1, TP2, TP3, like we set it. So let's wait. So we're expecting the first take profit should be done if the market comes to this 9 period moving average. Let's see. Okay, it didn't, but we had a buy position. But let's just wait on. Let's hold on to see if we have another position. So I wish I can speed it. I wish I can speed this up, but I would like you to see properly. But if we had not put our stop loss to be too tight, I think we would have taken profits somewhere around here. But it is what it is. So maybe we are going to have a sell position here. Let's wait. So now what I'm thinking, maybe we should have had an extra stop loss around here. Maybe, you know. But let's just leave it. Maybe we had it. Okay, now we have a new position, a sell position, right? So you can see this candle close above this band and this candle is closing inside the band. So that's why we have our sell position. Then we have our stop loss between the highest point between the last two candles, right? So let's see. Hopefully we'll be able to see as it takes take profit one. Okay, oh, it has taken take profit one. Maybe we were using the axe price, so maybe it was making sure that it's the axe price that it is using. So maybe the axe price was not lower than the 9 period moving average here. Maybe that's why. But take profit has been taken there and stop loss hits. Let's wait for another position again. I wish I can make this faster. Okay, we did not have a position here, probably because the 9 period moving average was not above the midline. So that is probably the reason why we did not have a position there, a sell position. Okay, let's just go ahead. Okay, now we have a position, but it was stopped out. Okay, so we have another position. It was also stopped out. I think we might have to add extra pips to the stop loss instead of just using the last low or the last high, because I can see that it's going in our direction, just that our stop loss is being hit early. So that's our main problem here. But you can see, it's working fine. So let's quickly add. Okay, we have another position. Then, okay, I think we have another position and break even has been set. Okay, it has trailed. It has trailed, and I think take profits one has been taken, right? So okay, it has stop loss. Okay, but let's see. Okay, we have another buy position. Oops, our stop loss was it. Okay, okay, as you can see, our stop loss is getting hit and it is going in our direction, so we have to put an extra stop loss to this. We just have to. I'm very sorry if I'm forced to modify what the exact owner of the strategy said, but obviously the strategy is promising, but we just need to add extra stop loss, because if we do not have extra stop loss, you'll just be getting stopped out. We'll just be getting stopped out, untimely. So let's quickly do that, then we go to the optimization part. So in here, so what I can do is I can just copy this, or I will just transfer the source code. So I'll take out the source code and the EA itself, I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here. So I will say replace. So let me just have my IDE open. So whenever I edit this, so automatically it will be, filling this out. So let me just open expert and this. So I don't like this, I'll remove this and I'll make this higher. So I'll take this out. I'll go for tools, option, font. I love this at 14. Okay, good. So what we can simply do is that we can simply have something like extra. So we can say extra Excel. So you can leave this on, maybe 10 by default or 0. You know what, let's leave it on 0 in case the user is being aggressive. So you can say extra stop loss, or you know what, let's leave it on maybe 15, because some people might not be aware that you need to work on this so that your EA will work fine. So to avoid such mistake, so what we can do is that, so to avoid such mistake, so we can simply have this outside. You can say maybe extra, which is extra Excel multiply, oops, multiply by points, then multiply by 10. Then here we can say minus extra, and for the cell we can say plus extra. So that should fix it, right? So I can simply save and compile. Alright, so it should get automatically updated on my XNES terminal. Now you can see it has been updated. So let's quickly, let me just change it to 20 here. So try to be obvious. Okay, you know what, let's make it 50. So try to be obvious that we now have an extra stop loss behind our so let's do that. Let's wait. Okay, I've increased the speed. I think we had a position around here, a buy position. So let's see. But I think it went, it hit our stop loss. Okay, so you can see, let me pause this. So we have a buy position. Normally, we used to have our stop loss between the low within the lowest between these two candles. But now, even between, if you are to get the last low, you will notice that we now have an extra stop loss of 50 pips between. You can see that. So let's quickly see. Oops, do not hit my stop loss, please, please. Oh, hit my stop loss. Okay, but you can see, I think it is better. Yes, it is better. You can see it is better. My yes, it is better. Yes, 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 it is now better. Yes, it is now better. That's very good. So let's quickly go ahead with optimization. Okay, I'm happy now. So you know what? I will switch this to 5 minutes, right? For the custom period, let's start with 2022. So I'll use the same deposit. We are trying to get the best out of it. So you can just go for fast. Then you can go for input. What do you want to optimize for? Let's just optimize for the time frame. So you can say, what? I think 5 minutes will be too tight. So let's just do 30 minutes to maybe, okay, is 30 minutes fine? Should we do 15 minutes? Let's do 15 minutes. Then to, let's say, 4 hours. Yes, so it will do for 15 minutes. I mean, it will do for 15 minutes, 30, 40, this, and 4 hours. And let's optimize for the extra stop loss. So let's start with, let's say 10. Then it will increase by, let's say 10, and let's stop at, let's say 100. So that means it is going to do for 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So I should have said increase by step to be 5, which is 10, 15, 20, 30, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, to 100. But I just want to increase by 10. I want to see the best. And let's see. Okay, we don't need to optimize for these values, so we can go ahead and click on start, so to see the optimization in action. And we do to, okay, it is downloading our history. Okay, that's very good. And after the optimization is done, we are going to analyze the result together to see the best time frame and the best extra stop loss to use for this strategy, if it is actually profitable, because we care a lot about the drawdown. So we want the minimum, so we want a very low drawdown, as low as maybe 20%. So as something that is lower than 20%, or even 50%, even 15%. So you know what, let's wait for the optimization result. I'll see you soon. Alright guys, this is done. So you started with $500, right? And this is what we try to optimize for. Let me increase this. So these are what we try to optimize for: the time frame, the extra stop loss, and the time frame and the extra stop loss, right? Then here is the backtest results. You can see it failed horribly. Okay, let me sort this by, you can see the lowest is 95.61. That's just too much. Even that gave a negative profit, so it was not profitable. Maybe because I'm trying to optimize on gold, meanwhile he was trading it on GBP AUD. So maybe that's the problem. But for gold, it's not working. So you are going to have the source code to this, so you can go ahead and optimize for GBP AUD or any other pair. And once you are able to get a promising result, you can share in the comment section. And in the case where you can't find a promising result, but you have a better way of improving the strategy, you can go ahead and modify the strategy, since you will be having the source code. So I hope you've learned something. I'll see you on the next one.